The figure stood beside the bell, their shadow stretching across its surface, their eyes glowing pale against its cracks. Their voice slid steady into your marrow, calm and certain. They cannot resist. The clapper struck. The bell tolled. The sound tore through you. The 8 words collided, screamed, ripped each other apart. Your ribs split with light, threads bursting from your chest, your mouth, your eyes. You clenched your jaw, shook your head, tried to bury the word it demanded. The fog shrieked louder, slamming against you. The watchers howled, their voices fracturing the stone. The clapper struck again. The bell tolled louder. Your ribbon blazed white, knots hammering until your body arched, searing heat running through your veins. And the 9th word ripped free. Always, the bell roared. Its runes flared, binding the new word into their endless crawl. Why stay, remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always. The fog shrieked in triumph. The watchers screamed the word until their hollow throats rattled the chamber apart. The heart of the black bell thundered above, and its voice carved itself into your marrow. Now you carry 9. You will not set them down. The chamber shuddered under the weight of 9 words. The smaller bell glowed red, its runes crawling fast, wrapping tighter around your chest as though it had always belonged there. Why stay? Remember, never, alone, forever. Nothing, end, always. They beat like 9 hearts inside you, each throb louder, each echo sharper, each pulse heavier. Your ribbon burned with every rhythm, the knots hammering until silver light leaked from the cracks in your skin. The fog swirled with fury, no longer whispering but shrieking in unison. More. It wrapped your legs, your arms, your throat, and pressed against your mouth, waiting for another word to tear itself free. The watchers raised their hollow eyes. They stood now, rows upon rows against the walls, their mouths gaping wider, their voices cracking the stone with their chant. More, more, more. Your companions stumbled forward, their knees striking the cracked floor. They gripped your arm as though it were the last thing keeping them alive. Their mouth opened, and though silence swallowed their sound, you felt the weight of their plea inside your chest. You can't carry another. The reader lifted his lantern. The silver flame bent low but did not die. His eyes stayed fixed on you, grim, shadowed, hollow. His lips shaped one word, heavy as toll. Endure. The figure stood closest to the bell, their pale eyes glowing steady. Their shadow stretched across the red cracks as if it belonged to them. Their voice entered you like a second heartbeat. There is no end until the bell decides. The rope twitched, the clapper swayed, the bell tolled. The chamber split wider, fissures blazing red. The floor cracked open into rivers of light that hissed into steam as the fog devoured them. The watchers screamed louder, their hollow mouths breaking into a frenzy. Your 9 words collided, tearing at your ribs, screaming inside your lungs until every breath was fire. Why stay? Remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always. They pulsed faster, tangled, fused until you could no longer separate them. The bell thundered into your marrow. Give me what comes after always. The smaller bell swayed, its glow deepening from faint red to a burning crimson. Its runes crawled faster, reshaping, binding tighter. Every fissure across its bronze split wider, spilling rivers of light into the cracks of the floor. The toll rattled your chest with a pressure that never eased. 9 words pulsed inside you, hammering in rhythm with the bell. Why stay? Remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always. They filled your lungs, bent your ribs, pressed against your throat. Each one spoke in your own voice, and together they drowned you. The fog screamed. It rose in violent spirals, pressing its weight into your bones, smothering every thought. Its voice broke into a single chant. Give, give, give. The watchers howled with it, their hollow mouths stretched open, their white eyes flaring brighter. Their chorus filled the chamber, breaking stone loose from the walls, shaking water from the ceiling. Give more, give more, give more. Your companion clutched you, their hands shaking, their face streaked with ash and tears. Their mouth opened wide and the plea carved itself into your chest like glass. Don't. Not another. The reader raised his lantern higher, though the silver flame bent nearly flat under the red glow of the bell. His shoulders slumped under the weight, but his lips shaped the word that had become his only prayer. Endure. The figure stood unmoving, one pale hand pressed to the bell's rim. Their shadow spread across the rooms, their eyes glowing bright. Their voice fell into your marrow like the toll itself. They will give. The clapper swung. The bell tolled. The 9 words screamed inside your chest, each one tearing at the others, colliding, binding, breaking. Threads of silver ripped from your mouth, your eyes, your ribs. Your ribbon flared white, knots hammering until your body arched, burning with light. The bell's voice thundered into you, steady and cold. Give me what comes after always. You tried to resist. You clenched your teeth. You pressed your tongue against the word before it rose. You held your breath until your chest seized. The fog pressed harder. The watchers screamed louder. The clapper struck again. The toll split you open and the word tore free. Together, the bell roared. Its runes flared crimson, locking the 10th word into their crawl. Why stay, remember, never. Alone, forever, nothing, end always together. The fog shrieked in triumph, its tendrils lashing the stone until the chamber groaned. The watchers bent forward, their chorus shaking the air. Together, together. Together, the reader's lantern shook in his hand, silver flame whipping against the storm, but it did not die. His lips moved once more. Endure. Your companion collapsed to their knees, their face pressed into your chest, their mouth trembling against your ribbon. Come back. The figure smiled faintly, their shadow carved into the fissures of the bell. Their pale eyes gleamed as they spoke, certain and calm. Now it begins. The bell tolled again, and the chamber split wide. The toll faded, but your chest did not ease. 10 words hammered inside you, louder than breath, heavier than bone. Why stay, remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always together. They pulsed like 10 hearts, none in rhythm, each one dragging your blood in a different direction. Your ribs groaned as though they could not contain the weight. Your ribbon flared weak, its knots glowing, its threads spread so deep you no longer knew where they ended and you began. The fog hushed for a moment. It curled low across the floor, weaving between the cracks that still glowed crimson. Its whispers came slow, not shrieking now but steady, like a breath against your ear. You cannot set them down. The watchers lowered their hollow heads. Their mouths still hung open, but no chant left them. Only a low moan pressed into the chamber, a soundless lament that rattled the stone like wind through broken wood. Their eyes dimmed faint, white glow fading to pale gray. Your companion pressed their forehead against your chest. Their hands shook as they clutched the knots of your ribbon, though the heat seared their palms. Their mouth opened wide, lips forming words you felt burn into your ribs. You're not you anymore. Ash smeared across their cheeks, streaked with tears that left pale lines in the dust. Their bodies shook against you, trembling with grief and exhaustion. The reader stood apart, his lantern raised high. The silver flame bent but held, flickering as though it fought against drowning. His eyes were hollow, carved deep with shadows, but they never left you. His lips shaped his prayer again, and this time it felt thinner than before, brittle but still unbroken. Endure. The figure stood closest to the bell, their palm flat against the fissured bronze. Their shadow spread into its cracks, merging with it until you could no longer tell where the figure ended and the bell began. Their pale eyes glowed brighter than the crimson light. Their voice sank steady into your marrow. 10 is not the end. The bell does not know enough. The clapper swung. The toll pressed into the floor, splitting it further. The fog shrieked again, triumph spilling from it like steam. Its voice rose higher, stronger, louder. More. The watchers lifted their heads again. Their hollow eyes flared white, their mouths opened wider, and their chorus broke into a roar. More. More, more. The bell thundered, and its voice shook through your veins, demanding, 10 is not enough. The floor cracked open. Stone gave way beneath you. The fog surged upward, screaming in victory. And you fell again, carrying all 10 words with you. The fall opened beneath you again. The floor split apart into rivers of red light, stone fragments tumbling into the abyss as the fog rose up to swallow them. You dropped with it, not quickly, not freely, but with the slow weight of a body dragged downward by chains. 10 words pulsed inside you, hammering without rhythm, colliding louder than your own heart. Why stay? Remember, never, alone, forever. Nothing, end, always, together. They did not whisper anymore. They screamed, each one with your own voice, each one louder than the last. They circled you in threads of silver fire, weaving into ribs, binding your lungs, pressing against your throat. The fog caught them, curled around them, twisted them into new shapes. It bent their sound, pulled them into questions you had never wanted to hear. Why didn't you stay? Remember what you left. Why did you choose alone? Will it last forever? Is nothing all you gave? Was end what you sought? Always with who? Together with what? The voices tangled with each other until they tore you hollow. Your ribbon flared, knots burning so hot your skin blistered where the thread split. Each throb spread deeper, stitching the 10 words into you until your bones themselves hummed with them. Shapes stirred in the fall. The broken objects drifted around you again, carried by ribbons of silver light. A shattered plate spun with its edges glowing. A jar leaked endless water into the void. A chair dragged its splintered legs through the fog. A lantern flickered with pale fire that gave no warmth. Each object carried one of your words now carved faint across its surface. The plate whispered, remember. The jar hissed, never. The chair moaned, alone. The lantern whispered, forever. The fog dragged them closer until they circled you with the other words. Your companion's face flickered faint in the distance above, their mouth open in a cry you could not hear. Their arms reached for you, trembling, though you were already too far below. Their lips formed the words you had buried deepest. Stop. The reader's lantern bent above, its silver flame faint, almost gone. His lips shaped one word as steady as ever, though it sounded broken now. Endure. The figure's shadow fell beside you, merging with the ribbons that circled your body. Their pale eyes glowed faint as the fissures. Their voice reached you calm, certain, steady. You are falling into the last. The abyss groaned. Its walls split wider, fissures glowing red until the dark below was no longer empty. Stone pulled itself into shape beneath you, pale as bone, its surface etched with runes already waiting. Water poured in streams, striking the floor in steady rhythm, steaming into fog. The fall slowed. Your feet touched the new ground. The fog curled low, pressing against your chest with whispers that no longer screamed but breath, soft, certain. Give more. The cracks in the floor spread wider, glowing until another bell rose from them, smaller still but darker, its surface covered in runes that pulsed like open wounds. Its clapper swung before you, its rope limp, its hum already inside your marrow. The watchers' voices poured down from above, 1,000 hollow mouths demanding in unison. Answer, the fog shrieked, the bell tolled, and its voice struck you in your ribs. Give me what comes after together. The smaller bell swayed before you, its runes pulsing like open wounds. Each shift of the clapper pressed deeper into your ribs until your chest felt carved from bronze. The hum rattled your bones, every vibration demanding the same thing. Give me what comes after together. 10 words screamed inside you, colliding, twisting, hammering. Why stay? Remember, never alone. Forever, nothing, end, always together. They bound your lungs, pressed against your throat, tore at your ribs. Your ribbons seared, the knots glowing white, burning until your skin split into silver cracks. Threads spilled from your body, stitching themselves into the floor. The fog rose, circling you in spirals, whispering in unison. Give, give, give. The watchers leaned forward, their hollow eyes blazing. Their mouths opened wide, their chorus breaking into frenzy. Give more, give more, give more. Your companions staggered to your side, their arms shaking as they wrapped around you. Their mouth opened wide, their lips forming a word you felt crack into your chest. No. Their tears smeared black ash across your ribbon, but the knots burned hotter, shaking their hands away. The reader raised his lantern high. The silver flame bent nearly flat, straining against the red glow. His lips formed the word he had never abandoned, though it weighed more now than ever before. Endure. The figure pressed their hand to the bell's rim. Their shadow bled into its cracks, merging as if it had always belonged there. Their pale eyes gleamed bright, and their voice slid steady into your marrow. They cannot hold. Let it take them. The clapper struck. The bell tolled. The chamber shook. The runes along the floor writhed, splitting, glowing brighter. The 10 words screamed at once, tearing your lungs hollow. Why stay? Remember, never. Alone. Forever. Nothing. End. Always together. Your ribbon blazed white, the knots hammering until your body arched with pain. Threads spilled from your mouth, your eyes, your chest. You clenched your jaw. You forced your lungs to lock. You tried to bury the word inside your ribs. The clapper struck again. The toll tore you open. Light burst from your throat, silver threads unraveling into the bell. Your chest burned until a word forced its way out, raw, broken, not chosen but stolen. Again, the bell roared. Its runes twisted, locking the new word into their crawl. Why stay? Remember, never alone. Forever, nothing, end, always together. Again. The fog shrieked in triumph, lashing the walls until stone split. The watchers screamed the word until the chamber rattled with it. Again, again, again. The reader staggered under the toll, his lantern shaking in his grip. His lips shaped the word once more. Endure. Your companion collapsed against you, their face buried in your chest, their lips trembling against the knots of your ribbon. Please. The figure smiled faintly, their pale eyes glowing brighter as they whispered. 11 and still not enough. The bell tolled again, and the floor beneath you cracked wider. The toll faded, but its weight lingered. The smaller bell glowed with its runes alive, crawling in frantic circles, binding another word into its skin. Why stay? Remember, never alone. Forever, nothing, end, always together, again. 11. They pulsed inside you like 11 hearts beating at once, none in rhythm, each dragging you in a different direction. Your chest felt hollow and overfilled. Your ribs shivered as if they could not hold, and your breath broke into shallow bursts that no longer belonged to you. Your ribbon dimmed to a low glow, but it's not still pulsed, steady, endless, hammering the words deeper into your marrow. Threads ran through your skin like veins of fire, pulsing white beneath the surface. The fog lowered to the floor, curling like smoke around your legs, whispering not in screams now, but in soft, measured rhythm. Why stay? Remember, never, alone. Forever nothing, end always together again. The watchers swayed where they stood. Their hollow eyes dimmed faint, their mouths stayed open, but their voices bent into one moan, long and heavy, like the groan of stone about to break. Your companion leaned against you, their body trembling, their hands pressed over your chest as though they could hold the words in place. Tears streaked their face, ash smeared across their skin, and their lips shaped the truth you had already felt. You can't carry more. Their voice did not reach your ears, but it carved itself into your ribs all the same. The reader lifted his lantern. The silver flame bent low but held, bending against the glow of the bell. His eyes were shadowed, deep and heavy but steady. His lips shaped his prayer again, though it seemed thinner now, strained, frayed at its edges. Endure. The figure pressed their hand harder into the bell. Their shadows spread wider into the fissures deeper, as though the cracks had been carved for them. Their pale eyes gleamed and their lips shaped words calm and certain. 11 is not the end. The rope twitched. The clapper swayed. The bell hummed louder, pressing its weight into the chamber until the stone itself groaned. The fog shrieked. The watchers raised their heads, their hollow eyes blazing white again, their mouths opening wider, their chorus rising into frenzy. More. More, more. The floor cracked wider, fissures glowing red, silver, and white all at once. The walls bowed inward, stone tearing loose. Water poured in torrents, hissing into steam that rose in violent clouds. The bell thundered and its voice split through you, steady, unrelenting. 11 is not enough. The chamber split open beneath your feet. The fog screamed in triumph. The watchers howled louder. Your ribbon flared white, threads unraveling, dragging you downward. And you fell again. The floor split and you fell again. The abyss pulled you down slow, not like falling through air, but sinking through water that pressed from every side. Stone fragments spun around you, glowing red and silver from the fissures that cracked them open. Fog curled upward in violent spirals, shrieking with triumph, pulling you deeper into its time. 11 words circled you, spiraling like ribbons torn from your body. Why stay? Remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always, together, again. Each one spun as a thread of light, weaving itself around your ribs, binding you tighter. They pulsed in rhythm with your ribbon, each beat heavier, sharper, louder, until your chest burned with the weight of them. The fog twisted those words, bent them into voices that hissed close to your ear. Why did you leave? Stay where you belong. Remember what you promised. Never break the vow. Alone is all you are. Forever is all you gave. Nothing is what you chose. End is where you go. Always is a chain. Together is a lie. Again is the curse. Their questions circled until you could no longer tell which came from the fog and which came from yourself. Your ribbon flared, knots burning white-hot, threads splitting through your skin until you glowed brighter than the fragments falling with you. Light spilled into the abyss in rivers, sowing itself into the cracks of stone, as if even the fall itself could not exist without your words to hold it together. Your companion's face flickered faint above, pale, streaked with ash, their arms outstretched, their mouth open in a silent scream. Their lips formed the same word over and over, and it struck you sharper than the toll. Stop! The reader's lantern bent low, the silver flame nearly gone. His lips formed his word again, though this time it cracked with strain, a whisper against the roar. Endure! The figure's shadow fell beside you, long, merging with the ribbons of light that spun around your body. Their pale eyes glowed faint and calm. Their voice reached you steady, certain, without mercy. You are falling into 12. The abyss groaned. Its walls cracked wider, glowing until the dark below lit with red and silver veins. The fog pulled itself into columns, stretching down into the nothing. The fragments of stone broke apart and drifted, scattering into the mist. The fall slowed. A new floor pulled itself into being, pale as bone, its surface cracked with runes that burned faint white. Water dripped steady from above, each drop hissing where it struck the glow. You landed hard, your knees striking the stone. The runes writhed, twisting, reshaping, until they locked into patterns that reflected the 11 words you carried. They burned against your chest, hammering in rhythm with your ribbon. The cracks spread wider. From them rose another bell, smaller still but darker, heavier. Its surface burned black, its rim covered in runes that pulsed like scars. Its clapper swayed, though no rope moved it. The hum of it pressed deeper into your marrow than breath. The fog screamed, and the watcher's chorus carried down from above, hollow and endless. Answer, the clapper swung. The bell tolled, and its voice thundered into you. Give me what comes after again. The 12th bell swayed before you, smaller than the rest but heavier than any that had come before. Its bronze was blackened, its rim scarred with runes that pulsed faint red as if they bled. The clapper groaned as it moved, dragging silence with it, stretching every breath in your chest until it cracked. The 11 words already bound screamed together. Why stay, remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always, together, again. They hammered in your ribs, colliding, twisting, shredding you hollow. Your ribbon flared white, knots pulsing harder than your own heart, threads splitting through your skin and sewing themselves into the floor. The fog screamed, coiling tighter, pressing into your mouth, your ears, your eyes. Its whispers became a single command. Give. The watchers leaned forward, their hollow eyes burning white, their mouths opening wider, their chorus breaking into a single demand that shook the chamber. Give more. Your companion fell to their knees beside you, their arms wrapping tight around your chest as if they could hold you shut. Their mouth opened wide, lips trembling, shaping the word that pressed like a blade into your ribs. Enough. Their tears smeared ash into streaks across their face. Their hands pressed against your ribbon even as it seared them raw. The reader raised his lantern high, though the silver flame bent nearly flat in the storm. His voice pressed into your bones, cracked but unbroken. Endure. The figure pressed their hand against the bell's rim. Their shadow bled into its fissures. Their pale eyes gleamed faint, and their voice entered you steady, final. They cannot, the clapper struck. The bell tolled. The sound broke you open. The 11 words collided in your lungs, screaming until light spilled from your mouth and eyes. Threads burst from your ribs, burning into the floor. You clenched your jaw. You forced your lungs to lock. You tried to bury the word before it rose. The clapper struck again. The toll tore through you. Your ribbon blazed white, knots hammering until your body arched against the weight. Silver light poured out of you in rivers, spilling into the cracks. The word ripped free. Always more, the bell roared. Its runes locked, binding the new word into their endless crawl. Why stay, remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always. Together again, always more. The fog shrieked with triumph. The watchers screamed the word until their hollow throats shook stone loose from the walls. The reader's lantern flickered wildly, its silver flame shrinking thin, but it did not die. His lips shaped his word again, though it cracked like glass. Endure. Your companion pressed their forehead into your chest, their mouth trembling against your ribbon. Please. The figure smiled faintly, their pale eyes glowing brighter than the runes. Their voice slid calm into your marrow. 12. The clapper swung again, and the floor began to split. The toll faded, but the weight it left behind was unbearable. The 12th bell stood glowing with its fissures bright, runes writhing across its surface like scars that could not heal. 12 words pulsed inside you. Why stay? Remember, never alone. Forever, nothing. End, always together. Again, always more. They did not beat in rhythm. Each one throbbed against the others, dragging your blood in 12 directions, hammering until your chest felt too small for your body. Your ribs groaned, your breath cracked, and your vision swam with light. Your ribbon glowed with them, its knots pulsing steady, each one a brand seared into your marrow. Threads spread farther now, stitched into your bones, woven so deep you could not tell where you ended and the words began. The fog hushed, curling low around the fissures of the floor. Its whispers came soft now, almost gentle, like lullabies made of ash. 12, 12, 12. The watchers bowed their hollow heads again. Their mouths still hung open, but no chant rose from them. Only a low groan pressed through the chamber, long and thin, like wood bending beneath a weight it could not carry. Your companion pressed against you, their arms wrapped around your chest, their body trembling with sobs the silence swallowed. Their mouth opened wide, lips shaping the truth you had already felt. You're not coming back. Tears streaked their face, carving pale lines through the ash smeared across their skin. Their hands scraped against your ribbon, pulling at the knots though they seared raw, though the threads burned them down to nothing. The 12 words hammered harder, pushing them away, beating them back with every pulse. Why stay? Remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always, together, again, always more. The reader's lantern bent low. The silver flame stretched thin, but it did not go out. He raised it higher even as his hand shook, even as his shoulders sagged. His lips shaped the word he had always given you, though it cracked under the weight of 12. Endure. The figure stood by the bell, their hands still pressed to its rim. Their shadows stretched into the fissures, merging deeper than before. Their pale eyes burned bright, steady, unblinking. Their lips curved into words you felt like a toll inside your marrow. 12 is still not enough. The rope twitched. The clapper swayed. The bell hummed deeper, louder, shaking the floor, pressing weight into every bone of your body. The fog screamed in triumph. The watchers lifted their heads, their hollow eyes blazing white again. Their chorus broke into frenzy. More, more, more. The floor cracked wide, fissures racing outward, rivers of light pouring into the fog. The walls bowed inward, stone groaning, water pouring in torrents that turned to steam. The bell roared into your chest. 12 is not enough. The chamber collapsed. The ground gave way, and you fell again. The chamber tore itself apart. The floor split into rivers of red and silver light. The walls bowed inward and collapsed, and you fell through the ruin into the abyss below. The fall pressed on you like water, heavy and endless. Fragments of stone drifted beside you, cracked and glowing. Fog rose in spirals around them, catching their edges, devouring them into shadow. 12 words circled you. Why stay? Remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always together. Again, always more. They spun in threads of silver light, twisting around your ribs, sewing themselves into your lungs, pulling at your veins until you were bound tighter than breath. Each one pulsed out of rhythm with the others, hammering until your chest shook with the weight of 12 hearts that could not beat as one. The fog bent them into voices. Why did you leave? Stay where you belong. Remember what you promised. Never break it again. Alone is all you are. Forever is the vow. Nothing is left. End is already here. Always is the chain. Together is a lie. Again is the curse. Always more is the truth. They circled you closer and closer until their words pressed against your skin like hands. Your ribbon burned, its knots searing white-hot. Threads unraveled into the abyss, stretching into every fragment of stone, stitching the void together with your pain. Your companion's face flickered above, faint through the fog. Their arms reached for you, but you were already too far. Their mouth opened wide, lips forming a word that tore through you even without sound. Stop! The reader's lantern shimmered faint, its silver flame bent almost flat but still alive. His lips shaped his word again, though it sounded as brittle as glass in your chest. Endure. The figure's shadow slid down beside you, merging with the ribbons of light. Their pale eyes glowed calm, their lips forming the only truth they had ever spoken. You are falling into 13. The abyss groaned. Its walls split wider, cracks glowing brighter until the dark below lit like a furnace. Fog poured into the fissures, carrying the watchers' voices down into the depth. Their hollow mouths chanted in unison, their eyes burning white above the rim you had left behind. More. Stone pulled itself together beneath you, pale and wet, glowing with runes that writhed and twisted until they steadied into one shape. The fall slowed. Your feet struck the new floor. The runes lit in rhythm with your chest, binding themselves to the 12 words already inside you. The cracks spread wider. From them rose another bell, smaller, darker, its surface covered in scars. Its runes pulsed faint blue, its clapper already swaying its rope limp. The fog shrieked in victory. The watcher's chorus rained down from above, endless and hollow. Answer. The bell tolled, and its voice split your marrow. Give me what comes after always more. The 13th bell swayed in its cradle of cracks. Its bronze was scarred black. Its runes pulsed faint blue, crawling as though they were alive. The clapper groaned with every swing, dragging the silence in the chamber tighter around your ribs. 12 words hammered inside you. Why stay? Remember, never. Alone. Forever. Nothing. End. Always. Together. Again. Always more. They pulsed louder than your heart, each one tearing you in a different direction, each one begging for space that no longer existed. Your ribbon burned so fiercely the knots glowed white-hot, spilling threads of light from your chest into the cracks of the floor. The fog screamed, swirling into columns that pressed against your body. Its whispers rose sharp, no longer coaxing but demanding. Give. The watchers leaned forward in unison, their hollow mouths stretched wider. Their white eyes burned brighter, and their chorus shook the stone loose from the walls. Give more. Your companion stumbled to your side, their body trembling, their face streaked with ash and tears. Their arms wrapped around you, though the heat of your ribbon seared their skin. Their mouth opened wide, their lips shaping the plea that struck into your ribs like a knife. Don't. Their hands pressed harder, as if they could keep the knots shut through while alone. The reader raised his lantern higher, the silver flame bending nearly flat but refusing to die. His lips formed the word he had never abandoned, though it cracked under the strain. Endure. The figure pressed both hands against the bell's rim. Their shadow bled into its scars, their pale eyes gleamed steady, and their voice sank into your marrow, certain calm, without mercy. They cannot resist. The clapper struck. The bell tolled. The 12 words in your chest screamed as one, colliding, breaking, shredding your lungs. Light burst from your mouth, your eyes, your chest. Threads unraveled into the floor, stitching your body to the runes. You shook your head, clenched your jaw, locked your throat. You buried the word inside your ribs. The clapper swung again. The bell tolled louder. Your ribbon blazed white, the knots hammering until your body arched against the weight. The thread split your skin, searing brighter than the lantern's flame. The word ripped free. Nothing more, the bell roared. Its runes locked, binding the 13th word into their craw. Why stay, remember, never, alone. Forever, nothing, end, always together. Again, always more, nothing more. The fog shrieked in triumph, curling into violent spirals. The watchers screamed the new word until the chamber cracked with it. The reader's lantern flared once, nearly breaking, its silver flame whipped thin in the storm. His lips formed his word again, his voice a whisper hammered into your marrow. Endure. Your companion fell against your chest, their forehead pressed to your ribbon, their mouth trembling against the burning knots. Come back. The figure smiled faintly, their pale eyes glowing brighter than the runes. Their voice carved itself into your spine. 13. The clapper swung again, and the floor began to split. The toll sank into silence, but it was no rest. The 13th bell stood trembling, its runes glowing faint blue as if each pulse was the last breath of something breaking. 13 words pressed into you. Why stay, remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always together, again, always more. Nothing more. They pulsed like 13 hearts inside one chest, each throb out of rhythm, each one louder than the last. They dragged your blood in every direction at once, tearing you hollow. Your ribs strained against them, your lungs shuddered, and every breath broke like glass. Your ribbon dimmed, but the knots glowed steady, heavy, endless. Threads spread deeper now, past your marrow, into places you did not know could hold weight. They bound the words so tightly you could not imagine yourself without them. The fog hushed, settling low across the floor. Its whispers came slow, softer than before, almost like a chant meant to soothe. 13, 13, 13. The watchers bowed their heads again. Their hollow mouths stayed open, their eyes dimmed to pale gray. Their voices joined the fog, murmuring the same number, low and steady, a sound like stone groaning under its own weight. Your companion pressed their arms around you. Their bodies shook as they tried to steady your chest, though the heat of your ribbon burned them raw. Their tears streaked black ash into lines across their face. Their lips shaped words that pressed into your ribs sharper than knives. You are gone. Their forehead pressed against you, their sobs silent, their hands trembling as they clung to the knots of your ribbon. The reader stood with his lantern raised high. The silver flame bent thin but held, shaking as though it strained against the storm. His eyes were carved hollow, but they never left you. His lips shaped the word he had never let slip, though now it weighed heavier than all the words you carried. Endure. The figure stood at the bell's rim, their hands still pressed to its bronze. Their shadows stretched deeper into its scars, their pale eyes burning steady. Their lips curved slow, and their words struck into your marrow like another toll. 13 is still not enough. The rope twitched, the clapper swayed. The bell hummed louder, shaking the chamber, rattling the fissures until the floor beneath you groaned. The fog shrieked in triumph. The watchers lifted their heads, their hollow eyes blazing white again. Their mouths opened wider, their chorus tearing into a frenzy. More, more, more. The floor cracked open, fissures racing outward, glowing red and blue. Water poured in torrents, hissing into steam that rose in violent columns. The bell roared into your chest. 13 is not enough. The ground gave way. The chamber collapsed, and you fell again. The floor shattered beneath you, and the fall took you again. The abyss spread wide, cracked walls glowing with rivers of light, fragments of stone tumbling beside you like dying stars. Fog curled upward in spirals, shrieking in triumph as it dragged you deeper. 13 words circled you, bound tighter than ribs, louder than breath. Why stay, remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always, together, again, always more. Nothing more. They pulsed like 13 hearts, none in rhythm, each one beating faster than the last, each one pulling at your veins until you were hollow. They spun in threads of silver light, coiling around you, knotting themselves into a cage you could not escape. The fog bent them into voices. Why did you break the promise? Stay though you cannot. Remember though it burns. Never speak what you feel. Alone is where you belong. Forever is your curse. Nothing is what you gave. End is what you sought. Always is the lie. Together is the weight. Again is the punishment. Always more is hunger. Nothing more is truth. Each voice tore into you until your body shook beneath their weight. Your ribbon blazed white, its knots burning, threads unraveling into the abyss. They spread wider now, not only binding your chest, but sewing into the fragments of stone that drifted around you. They caught each piece, held it, pulled it back together, as if even the ruin itself leaned on the words you carried. Your companion's face flickered above, pale through the storm. Their arms stretched into emptiness, their mouth opening wide. Their lips shaped the word you could not give. Stop! The reader's lantern glowed faint above, its silver flame bent but alive. His lips shaped the same word he had always given, though it shook with cracks now. Endure. The figure's shadow slid beside you, merging with the cage of light that spun around your body. Their pale eyes glowed steady, calm, unblinking. Their voice fell into your marrow. You are falling into 14. The abyss groaned. Its walls split wider, fissures glowing red, silver, and blue all at once. The dark below lit with rivers of fire, fog boiling upward in waves. The fragments of stone scattered apart, then pulled themselves back together, glowing brighter as your ribbon stitched them into place. The fall slowed. Stone formed beneath your feet, pale and wet, its surface crawling with runes that writhed in rhythm with your chest. They pulsed with the 13 words you carried, reshaping to hold them. The cracks spread wider. From them rose another bell, smaller still, darker still. Its bronze was almost black, its rim covered in runes that pulsed like scars. The clapper swayed as if it had always known your breath. The hum of it pressed deeper than the marrow, heavier than thought. The fog shrieked in triumph. The watcher's chorus carried down from above, hollow, endless. Answer. The bell tolled, and its voice filled your chest. Give me what comes after nothing more. The 14th bell swayed, its surface nearly black, its rim crawling with runes that pulsed like scars. Each shift of the clapper dragged silence across the chamber until your ribs trembled with its weight. Its hum pressed deeper than breath, rattling the marrow of your bones. 13 words already burned inside you. Why stay, remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always, together, again, always more, nothing more. They screamed against each other, colliding in your lungs, twisting in your veins, hammering your chest until you staggered. Your ribbon flared white, the knots seared brighter than fire, threads splitting your skin and spilling into the cracks of the floor. The fog surged higher, pressing against your throat, your eyes, your mouth. It screamed the same word in rhythm with the toll. Give. The watchers lifted their hollow heads, their eyes blazing, their mouths opening wider. Their chorus rattled the chamber. Give more. Your companion threw themselves against you, their arms clinging, their forehead pressed into your chest. Their mouth open, lips trembling, shaping the word you had buried deepest. Enough! Their tears ran black with ash. Their hands pressed to the knots even as the heat seared them raw. The reader raised his lantern, the silver flame bending low but still alive. His lips formed the word that had never changed, though it shook in your chest like brittle glass. Endure. The figure pressed their shadow deeper into the fissures of the bell, their pale eyes steady, unblinking. Their voice cut into your marrow like a toll. They cannot resist. The clapper struck. The bell tolled. The sound tore your lungs apart. The 13 words collided in your chest, screaming until your ribs split with life. Threads burst from your body, stitching you into the runes of the floor. You clenched your jaw. You pressed your tongue to the word rising. You held your breath until your chest shook with fire. The clapper struck again. The toll roared louder. Your ribbon blazed, knots hammering until your body arched, spilling silver light in rivers across the chamber. The word ripped free. Evermore, the bell roared. Its runes flared, locking the 14th word into their endless crawl. Why stay, remember, never alone, forever, nothing, end, always, together, again, always more, nothing more, evermore. The fog shrieked with triumph, spiraling into violent columns. The watchers screamed the new word until the walls cracked with it. The reader's lantern flickered wildly, silver flame bent thin, but it did not break. His lips formed his word again, a whisper carved deep into your ribs. Endure. Your companion collapsed to their knees, their mouth trembling, their arms shaking as they reached for you. Come back. The figure smiled faintly, their pale eyes glowing brighter than the runes. Their voice slid calm into your marrow. 14. The clapper swung again, and the floor began to split. The toll faded, but its echo did not. The 14th bell stood swaying, its runes glowing faint blue and red as though the scars themselves burned with fever. 14 words hammered inside you. Why stay, remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always, together, again, always more. Nothing more, evermore. They pulsed like 14 hearts in one chest, each beat in a rhythm that fought the others. They dragged your breath in every direction, tore your veins open with their weight, pressed your ribs outward as though they would splinter. Your ribbon glowed faint, no longer blazing, but its knots pulsed steady, deeper, heavier, more rooted. Threads stitched into your marrow, tangled through your spine, binding every part of you to the words you carry. The fog quieted, curling low against the floor. Its whispers slowed into a steady chant, gentle as breath against stone. 14, 14, 14. The watchers bowed their heads. Their hollow eyes dimmed, their mouths still open, their chorus reduced to a single low groan that rolled across the chamber like wood breaking in the wind. Your companion pressed their arms around you, their body trembling. Their tears smeared ash across your ribbon as they pressed their forehead into your chest. Their lips moved, shaping words you felt hammer into your ribs with more weight than the toll itself. You are gone. Their sobs bent their shoulders. Their hands clawed at the knots even though the silver burned them raw. Their voice did not reach your ears, but it carved into you like another word bound. The reader raised his lantern. The silver flame bent hard, thinned almost flat, but it still lived. His lips shaped the word he had always given, but it cracked now, brittle, strained beneath the weight of 14. Endure. The figure stood by the bell, their hand pressed to its rim. Their shadow stretched into its fissures, merging deeper than before. Their pale eyes gleamed bright, unblinking. Their lips shaped a phrase that struck through your marrow like a toll. 14 is not enough. The rope twitched. The clapper swayed. The bell hummed louder, pressing weight into the chamber until the stone beneath you groaned. The fog shrieked in triumph, rising high in violent spirals. The watchers lifted their heads, hollow eyes blazing white again, their mouths stretching wider as their chorus rose into frenzy. More, more, more. The floor cracked beneath you, fissures glowing red and blue. Water poured through them in torrents, steaming as it struck the light. The bell roared into your chest. 14 is not enough. The chamber split wide. The ground gave way, and you fell again. The ground split, and the abyss welcomed you again. You sank, not quickly, but with the slow certainty of stone dropping into water. Fragments of the chamber drifted around you, each one cracked and glowing, stitched together by threads of silver light that unraveled from your chest. 14 words circled you in coils of fire and fog. Why stay, remember, never alone, forever nothing, end always together again, always more, nothing more, evermore. They pulsed in broken rhythm, hammering louder than your own heart. Each throb pulled your blood in a different direction, each one tearing your lungs thinner until you wondered if breath itself could survive them. The fog twisted them into voices. Why did you abandon? Stay though it breaks you. Remember what was lost. Never let go. Alone is the truth. Forever is the price. Nothing is left of you. End is all you have. Always is a chain. Together is a lie. Again is a curse. Always more is hunger. Nothing more is death. Evermore is the echo. Their chorus circled until you could no longer tell if the abyss spoke to you, or if it was only your words tearing you apart. Your ribbon blazed faint, its knots pulsing steady as anchors. Threads stretched wide into the abyss, stitching the drifting fragments of stone into a net that slowed your fall. Every stitch pulled harder against your chest until you were bound not just to the words, but to the abyss itself. Your companion's face flickered faint above, ash streaked, pale with grief. Their arms reached out though you were too far, their mouth shaping the word you had stopped giving yourself. Stop! The reader's lantern shimmered faint, silver flame bending, straining against the storm. His lips shaped his word again, though it broke across your ribs like glass. Endure. The figure's shadow slid down beside you, weaving itself into your cage of light. Their pale eyes glowed steady, their voice calm, certain, unshaken. You are falling into 15. The abyss groaned. Its walls split wider, glowing with veins of red, silver, and blue. Fog spilled into the fissures, boiling upward, carrying the watchers' chant down with it. Their hollow voices merged into one word. More. The fall slowed. Stone drew itself together beneath you, pale and wet, carved with runes that writhed until they matched the rhythm of your ribbon. They pulsed in time with the 14 words you carried, locking them deeper into your marrow. The floor cracked. From its center rose another bell. It was smaller, black as soot, its rim marked not with runes but with scars that bled faint light. Its clapper swayed, its hum pressed into your spine like chains. The fog screamed in triumph. The watcher's chorus rained down from above, hollow and endless. Answer. The bell tolled and its voice filled you. Give me what comes after evermore. The 15th bell swayed before you. It was small, blackened, its surface marked with scars that glowed faint like wounds refusing to close. The clapper dragged its broken weight back and forth, every motion dragging silence across the chamber until your breath ceased. 14 words screamed inside you. Why stay, remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always together, again. Always more, nothing more, evermore. They collided in your chest, twisting, clawing, hammering until your lungs felt shredded. Your ribbon blazed white, knots pulsing faster than your heart, threads burning through your ribs and spilling into the runes beneath your feet. The fog shrieked, rising in violent tides, pressing into your throat, flooding your ears, filling your lungs. Its voice cut through every corner of the chamber, no longer whisper but command. Give. The watchers leaned forward, their hollow mouths gaping wider, their white eyes burning brighter. Their chorus struck against the walls like thunder. Give more. Your companion dropped to their knees beside you, their arms clutching your body though the heat of your ribbon seared their skin. Their tears smeared ash across your chest. Their mouth opened wide, lips trembling, shaping the word you had buried too deep to hold. No. Their sobs shook them, their forehead pressed to you, their hands clawing at the knots though they blistered against the burn. The reader's lantern flickered weak, the silver flame bent thin but still alive. His lips moved, and the word pressed heavy into your ribs, cracked but unbroken. Endure. The figure pressed both palms against the bell's rim. Their shadow bled into its scars, their pale eyes glowing steady. Their voice rolled calm and final into your marrow. They cannot resist. The clapper struck. The bell tolled. The sound crushed your ribs. The 14 words screamed at once, tearing through your chest, ripping light from your mouth and eyes. Threads burst outward, sewing you tighter to the runes of the floor. You shook your head, locked your throat, clenched your jaw. You buried the word in silence. The clapper struck again. The toll roared louder. Your ribbon flared white, knots hammering until your body arched in pain. Silver spilled from your chest in rivers, flooding into the cracks. The word tore free. Forevermore, the bell roared. Its scars blazed, binding the 15th word into its crawl. Why stay, remember, never alone, forever, nothing, end, always together, again, always more, nothing more, evermore, forevermore. The fog shrieked, spinning into violent spirals. The watchers screamed the word until the chamber itself cracked. The reader raised his lantern high, its silver flame bending nearly flat but holding. His lips moved again, his voice faint but steady. Endure. Your companion collapsed against your chest, their mouth trembling against your ribbon. Please. The figure smiled faintly, their pale eyes gleaming brighter than the bell's glow. Their voice cut through the storm like another toll. 15. The clapper swayed. The floor began to split. The toll faded, but the silence that followed was heavier than sound. The 15th bell swayed slowly, its surface scorched black, its scars burning faint blue as though each one bled with light. 15 words pulsed inside you. Why stay, remember, never alone, forever, nothing, end, always, together, again, always more, nothing more, evermore, forevermore. They beat like 15 hearts, none in rhythm, each pulling at you in a different direction. They twisted your veins into knots, filled your lungs with weight, pressed against your ribs until every breath felt like it would split you open. Your ribbon dimmed to a steady glow. The knots pulsed faint but deep, rooted into your marrow. Threads spread further now, lacing through every bone, stitching your body into the words as though you were no longer separate from them. The fog lowered, curling across the cracked floor like smoke. Its whispers came soft, almost tender, as though they meant to lull you into sleep. 15, 15, 15. The watchers bowed their heads. Their hollow eyes flickered pale, their mouths hung open, but no chant came. Only a groan, long and deep, rolled through the chamber, a sound like timbers bending under weight too heavy to bear. Your companion pressed against you, their arms trembling as they clutched your chest. Their face was streaked with ash and tears, their lips trembling as they formed words you felt burned sharper than the toll itself. You are not here anymore. Their sobs bent their shoulders. Their hands pulled at your ribbon though the heat seared their skin, though the knots burned them down to raw flesh. They wept into your chest as though trying to remind you where it was. The reader lifted his lantern. The silver flame bent but still burned, small but steady. His eyes were hollow, lined with exhaustion deeper than the cracks in the floor, but he did not look away from you. His lips shaped the word he had never stopped giving, though it felt brittle now, stretched thin against the storm. Endure. The figure stood closest to the bell, their palms pressed to its surface, their shadow bleeding into the scars. Their pale eyes gleamed brighter than the flame, brighter than the runes, and their voice cut into your marrow with calm certainty. 15 is still not enough. The rope twitched. The clapper swayed. The bell hummed louder, pressing into the chamber until the stone beneath you groaned. The fog shrieked in triumph, spinning higher in violent tides. The watchers lifted their heads, their hollow eyes blazing white again, their mouths stretching wider. Their chorus broke into frenzy. More, more, more. The floor cracked beneath you, fissures racing outward, glowing red and blue. Water poured through them in floods, steaming as it struck the light. The bell roared. 15 is not enough. The ground gave way. The chamber collapsed, and you fell again. The floor shattered, and the abyss opened wider than before. You sank through it, not falling freely, but pulled down with the slow, heavy certainty of a body dragged into deep water. Fragments of stone spun beside you, each one cracked and glowing faint red, blue, or silver, threads of light stretching from your chest to stitch them together. 15 words circled you, brighter and heavier than all the rest had ever been. Why stay, remember, never alone, forever nothing, end always together again, always more, nothing more, evermore, forevermore. They pulsed like 15 hearts inside you, none in rhythm, each louder than the last. They hammered until your veins throbbed, until your lungs were raw, until every breath felt stolen. The fog bent them into voices that pressed against your ears, hissing questions that had no answers. Why did you leave? Stay though you break. Remember though it hurts. Never turn back. Alone is truth. Forever is curse. Nothing is left. End is certain. Always is a chain. Together is a lie. Again is punishment. Always more is hunger. Nothing more is ruin. Evermore is silence. Forevermore is death. Each voice spoke in your own tone until you could not tell if they accused you or if you accused yourself. Your ribbon flared weak, knots glowing faint but steady. Threads unraveled from you in wider arcs, sewing themselves into the abyss itself. Every fragment of stone, every vein of light, every curl of fog tied itself to you as though the fall would collapse without your words to hold it. Your companion's face appeared faint above, streaked with ash and tears. Their arms reached into nothing, their mouth opened wide, and their lips formed the same word you had stopped trusting. Stop! The reader's lantern shimmered, its silver flame bent low but never gone. His lips shaped the word that had become both command and plea. Endure. The figure's shadow slid beside you, long, steady, inevitable. Their pale eyes gleamed faint, calm, unblinking. Their voice pressed deep into your marrow. You are falling into 16. The abyss groaned. Its walls split wider, their cracks glowing until the dark below burned with rivers of red, silver, and blue. Fog boiled upward in waves, carrying the watchers' voices down with it, their hollow chant fusing into one word. More. Stone gathered beneath you, pale and wet, runes crawling over it as though etched by hands you could not see. They pulsed with the rhythm of the 15 words you carried, binding themselves into your marrow. The fall slowed. Your feet struck the new floor. The cracks split wider, glowing until another bell rose from them. Smaller still, its bronze black and pitted, its surface lined with runes that throbbed faint violet. The clapper swayed though the rope was limp, its hum pressing through you like a chain that had already closed. The fog shrieked in triumph. The watchers leaned over the rim above, their mouths open wide, their chorus endless. Answer, the bell tolled and its voice filled you. Give me what comes after forevermore. The 16th bell swayed before you. Its bronze was almost black, its surface eaten with pits and scars, its rim crawling with runes that glowed faint violet like bruises beneath skin. The clapper moved slowly, dragging silence with it, stretching every breath in your chest until you thought your ribs would splinter. 15 words already screamed inside you. Why stay? Remember, never, alone, forever, nothing, end, always, together, again. Always more, nothing more, evermore, forevermore. They collided in your lungs, twisted in your veins, bent your breath until it broke into gasps. Your ribbon flared white, knots hammering, threads splitting into rivers of light that spread across the cracked floor. The fog surged higher, curling around your throat, your eyes, your mouth. Its voice pressed harder than sound, filling every part of you with the same word. Give. The watchers leaned forward as one, hollow eyes burning white, mouths open wide. Their chorus cracked against the walls like thunder. Give more. Your companion fell against you, arms clinging though the heat of your ribbon seared their skin. Their tears smeared ash into streaks across your chest. Their mouth opened wide, their lips trembling as they formed the plea you had stopped believing could save you. Enough! Their sobs shook through them, their body bent as though the words bound in you had broken them too. The reader raised his lantern, though the silver flame bent thin, nearly flat. His lips moved, and his word pressed heavy into your marrow, cracked but steady. Endure. The figure pressed their hand to the bell's rim, their shadows sliding deeper into its scars. Their pale eyes gleamed bright, unblinking, and their voice struck calm and certain into your bones. They cannot resist. The clapper struck. The bell tolled. The sound ripped the breath from you. The 15 words screamed in unison, tearing your ribs open with light, spilling silver threads into the cracks of the floor. You clenched your jaw, locked your throat, buried the word before it rose. The clapper struck again. The bell tolled louder. Your ribbon blazed, knots hammering until your body arched. Silver threads burst from your mouth and eyes, rivers of light stitching themselves into the runes. The word tore free, everless. The bell roared. Its runes twisted, locking the 16th word into their endless crawl.